Hi dear friends, I am Binoy. In this video, I would like to share with you the expected changes for the PMP exam. This information is collected from PMI website and from other various sources. I am presenting this video before you with a belief that this will help some aspirants to avoid their confusions and to be more confident in the journey to become a PMP. The change was originally scheduled to take place on 1st November 2015. But recently, PMI notified that the PMP exam update has moved to 11 January 2016. It is really a happy news for many aspirants. As per PMI, it is just to provide all stakeholders sufficient time to prepare for this change. This change is a consequence of a recently completed role delineation study. PMI does this role delineation study in every 3 to 5 years for each certification. Do you know what is a role delineation study? In the case of PMP, role delineation study means the research study on a project manager's role. It is a study about domains of practice, tasks performed by a project manager, and knowledge and skills required for project managers to successfully function in this role. All of this research study is finally compiled into an exam content outline. PMP exam content outline is a resource which helps you as a guide for PMP preparation. Let me tell you, there is nothing much to fear with regard to the changes in PMP exam. Your preparations with the PMBOK 5th edition and some additional efforts for the newly added task will definitely help you to accomplish your goal to become a PMP. What you have to do is know the changes, enroll with the registered education provider REP and get 35 PDUs. Register for your exam and study well. And the last step is write the exam, pass the exam and add the 3 letters after your name. Don't worry about the changes. I suggest these 4 steps as the path to your PMP. Let us look into these steps one by one. The first step is know the changes. Now, let us check what all things are changing and what all things are not changing. Let us look the joyful things first, the elements which are not changing. First one, eligibility requirements. There are no changes in eligibility requirements. PMI asks for project, leading or directing experience of between 4,500 and 7,500 hours. The exact requirement depends on your education level. As before, 35 hours of formal project management education are also mandatory. Second, the overall structure of the exam is not changing. There is no change in this aspect of the PMP exam. The PMP exam is still a computer-based prometric exam. You have to answer 200 multiple choice questions in 4 hours and you will get immediate test results. The third one is the PMBOK guide. The PMBOK guide is not changing, but you must always keep in mind that the PMP exam is not based on PMBOK guide, but it is based on the PMP examination content outline. The PMP exam content outline is the primary source. The PMBOK is only a secondary source. There are some sections in the exam content outline which is not covered by PMBOK, and on the same hand, not everything in the PMBOK guide will appear in the PMP exam. Here come the discussion of changes that you are waiting for. Initially, let us examine the breakdown of percentage of questions from each domain area. There are some small changes in the overall percentage of questions in executing domains and closing domains. For PMP exams up to 11 January 2016, the executing domain holds about 30% of questions. While in the new format, the executing domain account for 31% of total questions. It is just an increase of 1%. The increase in this domain is adjusted by decreasing 1% in the closing domain. There, 8% is decreased to 7%. You can see the changes in red colored rows. The 5 domains of practice for the PMP exam remain the same. However, tasks within each domain have been modified, added or removed. There are changes to some of the tasks in each domain of practice. In domain 1, initiating the project, there are some changes in the task 2 and 2 additional tasks, task 7 and task 8 have been added to this domain. The changes and additions can be seen in red rows and the tasks without any changes are shown in green rows. Let us look into the changes made for task 2. In the old exam pattern, the task 2 is define the high-level scope of the project based on business and compliance requirements in order to meet customers' project expectations. The new exam pattern describes the task to us to identify key deliverables based on the business requirements in order to manage customer expectations and direct the achievement of project goals. Here, the overall essence of the task is the same, but there are some minor changes made to the language. Now let us examine the 2 additional tasks. Task 7 is to conduct benefit analysis with relevant stakeholders to validate project alignment with organizational strategy and expected business value. This area was included because many project managers are being brought into the project earlier than they have been in the past. And moreover, nowadays the significance of project managers' involvement in the early stages of the project when benefit analysis is carried out is regarded as high. Furthermore, one of the new roles of the project manager is to ensure that the project has focused on business benefits. Task 8 is to inform the stakeholders about the approved project charter and to ensure common understanding of the key deliverables, milestones, and their roles and responsibilities. PMI hereby recognizes the role of stakeholders in understanding the project charter. The new role delineation study realized that it is not solely the role of the project manager to create project charter, even though he participates in the process. Now let us discuss domain 2. As you can notice many green rows, it is easy to understand that there are no changes in any of these tasks. But a new task is added, task number 13. This task discusses to develop the stakeholder management plan by analyzing needs, interest, and potential impact in order to effectively manage stakeholder expectations and engage them in project decisions. Here, PMI has given more emphasis on the project manager's role to make two-way relationship with stakeholders rather than one-way communication. In domain 3, the task 6 has got some changes and an additional task 7 is added. In prior version, task 6 discusses to maximize team performance through leading, mentoring, training and motivating team members. In the new version, that is for PMP exams after 11 January 2016, task 6 discusses to manage the flow of information by following the communications plan in order to keep stakeholders engaged and informed. A new task, task 7, is added to the domain 3. It discusses the need to maintain stakeholder relationship by following the stakeholder management plan in order to receive continued support and manage expectations. In domain 4, there is some change in task 6 and a new task, task 7 is included. Task 6 in prior version was to communicate project status to stakeholders for their feedback in order to ensure the project aligns with business needs. But according to new version, the task 6 deals to capture, analyze and manage lessons learned. Use lessons learned management techniques in order to enable continuous improvement. It means in the new version, more emphasis is placed on lessons learned throughout the entire life cycle of a project. A new task, task 7, is added to domain 4. It discusses to monitor procurement activities according to the procurement plan in order to verify compliance with project objectives. PMI states that about 25% content change is based on new topics from the 8 new tasks which were previously not tested, and there will not be any questions from the tasks which were dropped. In domain 5, the overall weightage got decreased from 8% to 7%. But as you can see, all tasks are in green. There are no changes in these tasks. Now you know what the changes are. There is nothing much to worry, and if you still keep on worrying about the changes, you will lose the time to prepare. So now you may go to the next step to find a registered education provider. They are subject matter experts who will help you to make your preparations in an organized and structured manner. There are so many REPs. You can select the best one which suits you. Next comes the most important step: study well. PMP exam is not a very tough exam if you study what is required. The problem with most of the aspirants is that they wander among many study materials and will try to learn many things and finally ending up in understanding nothing. There are a lot of resources available in the market for PMP. Almost all may be good, but I suggest to focus on PMBOK and any one of the REP to study lessons. But for practicing multiple choice questions, it is better to depend on many sources. I suggest to join in all the PMP related groups in LinkedIn. When I did my PMP preparations, I participated actively in the group named I Want to Be a PMP by Oliver F. Lehman. I strongly suggest you to participate in the discussions in this group where many subject matter experts are posting their questions and discussions. While preparing for my PMP exam, I received help from many professionals. So I think I also have to help you in your preparations. I studied PM Prepcast by Cornelius Fishner and I watched many videos of Saket Bensan from Iceland. Doing as many multiples are extremely important. So I purchased an exam simulator from Cornelius Fishner and participated in many LinkedIn groups. There are some other good REPs as well, which are very popular. They include Rida, Simply Learn, IIPM, PM Study, etc. If you Google, you can get so many REPs and you can select the best which suits you. Furthermore, my suggestion is to register for the exam and take a date as early as possible. If you have a date in mind, it will obviously motivate us to do our studies more efficiently. The next step is writing the exam at Prometric Center. Don't panic. Just go 1 hour early with a relaxed mind. You will make it. You can come out with the result and can add those 3 letters after your name. That's it. I hope this was a useful video for you and many PMP dreamers. Thank you for watching me. I'm Binoy signing off, and I wish you again a successful journey towards your PMP.